What's up, everybody? We're back again. It's Friday. Time to rock and roll. Episode 172 of the Dadbod Golf Pod, brought to you by Bet Online, the number one sports betting website in the country.
Yes.
Last night was the first round of the NFL draft. There was tons of different props you could have bet on. Who's going to go one? Who's going to go top 10? This place has got it all. Like, you can live bet, you can bet literally anything. It could be pickleball over in New Zealand. Probably it's got a line on something. Check them out. Get a 50% welcome bonus for your first deposit. Use coupon code BLEAV, BLEAV, and go have some fun. If you get bored betting sports, go hit the casino.
Go hit the blackjack table, Bob.
Go hit that blackjack table and let her rip and have some fun. But anyway, check them out. Bet Online. It's where the game starts. And Ben, where the PGA Championship starts is practice rounds. And he broke the internet again with a video.
He just won the PIP. He just.
Yeah, I mean, he's had it won, but he strategically knows exactly what to do.
Yeah.
Big Cat, Tiger Woods, was seen because he let everybody see him doing a video, hitting a bomb at Southern Hills, playing a practice round. This was on today, which is Thursday when we're recording. So you're here to listen to this Friday. So Thursday, he played a practice round at Southern Hills, the site of the PGA Championship. Was there ever really a doubt to you, Ben, that he was going to play? I feel like you were a tad skeptical that he might play.
No, once he announced, I wasn't skeptical anymore. Like, I think everything he does is so planned out and so prepared that once he made it official, which did I also read that with Phil, with his new deal overseas, he's going to be pulling out of the PGA because one of the tournaments coincides. Am I not reading that? Did I not read that correctly?
No, I think he's in. I think
okay. They both announced like the same day that they were going. Well, they didn't, not out of their camps, but it was reported and then they solidified it like a couple of days later. So as soon as Tiger's camp said, "Yep, I'll be in the PGA," I was like, okay, well then he's going to be there. Like he would have given the same answer he gave for the Masters. We'll see. We're going to check the health and we'll see. Check that. But when he quit saying we'll check the health and we'll see, and he said, gonna be there, I was like, yes. So he's already said he was going to the British / Open Championship / St. Andrews.
Yep. So
that's a definite. And now this is a definite.
And the US Open.
So I guess
he had to get signed up by the deadline. So
he signed up for any regular tournaments?
Not yet. He hasn't committed to anything regular yet, but he's definitely in for all four majors right now.
Did he not commit for a tournament prior to the Open Championship overseas? Like, not the Scottish Open, but like an Irish something or another?
Not that I know of. Not that I've seen. I could be wrong though, but I think right now we got the four majors on the books. Tiger's last PGA Championship just so happened to be Southern Hills in 2007.
Yeah, he knows the course for
by
sure.
2 shots. So likes the course, knows the course. It's crazy. I believe he's won. Where is the Brookline? He didn't win. He hasn't won at Brookline, and he was too young to be in that. Was he in the Ryder Cup in '97?
No.
Sure, he was way too young, I would imagine. Or maybe he was. You should remember that, Ben.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think you. Man, if he was a last minute addition because he effectively came on tour in 90 into 95. Hello World was into 95. So he would have just been a year in, and 97 was the Masters.
He was on it.
Wow.
It was his rookie year. So he has familiar.
Over?
No, one. Let's see. Non-playing captain. He was a rookie. It doesn't say what his record was.
His first couple of Ryder Cup years were atrocious.
We did not. They won. He did win the first match with Marco Mira 3-2.
Yeah.
So there's a point.
I do remember that now.
Yeah, he
Mark
had
O'Mara took him under his wing. That's right.
Yep, he got beat. His next two matches, the afternoon foursomes, the Saturday morning round, and then he halved the afternoon on the second round, and then he lost to Constantino
Roca,
in the singles.
Coming back to me now, Bob. That was a long time ago.
This was actually 97 was actually in Spain. When was Brookline? We have totally just butchered this.
Yeah,
that was his first.
We probably should have show prepped on this.
Yeah, what we're trying to say is the U.S. Open is at Brookline, and we're trying to figure out what Tiger's affiliation, if he's had much success there. 1999. Okay, there we go. 1999, and let's see. He did play in there as well. He lost his first match. He
played up in all of them till his wife took a club to his Cadillac.
Won his third. So he was 1-3, and then in singles, I believe he won his singles. So there you go. Everybody won their singles. So he 3-2. It looks like he had 3 wins and 2 losses at Brookline. Yeah. So not bad. So he's got a little bit of history at all four. What do you think about what should be expectations at Southern Hills? What should be our expectations? And is it just a whole make the cut thing again?
I think it's a made cut is what I'm thinking. I do think he's now had time to walk more courses, stay on the stationary bike a little longer. I think maybe you could tell at Augusta, man, his stamina, he was spent on Sunday. Like, I'm sorry, you could just tell he was limping a little more, and I don't think that was because of pain, because he said he's always going to be in pain. I think it was just because, he said that ankle doesn't quite turn right, so I think he was just tired of lumbering around and dragging it everywhere, so he just was having to limp a little bit. So I think that his stamina will be up, so maybe we see a better showing Saturday, and maybe a few birdies on Sunday to finish top 30. Something like that. So my expectations, that'll be my expectation. I'll say made cut top 30. I don't think he does top 10. Some people, I was reading on Twitter today, some people are like, oh, now he's had a chance to work out and all that. He's top 10. It's like, no, bro, he has not played competitive golf. And this is the PGA champion. I mean, this is something that it's going to be tough. So granted, his knowledge of the course is going to give him an advantage. So I say top 30.
There you go. I'm hoping for another cut. I'm top 30 would be phenomenal. This course looks like not that bad of a walk.
It doesn't, but that's funny that shot that they showed, it looked like it was dead downhill.
It looks like there is a couple of it's kind of like of course we played this past week. It's a relatively flat course, but there's a couple of tee shots that somehow you just turn around, you don't even feel like you're climbing a hill, but then all of a sudden you're hitting a tee shot way down a hill. So I mean, looking at it, it shouldn't be that tough of a walk. Definitely a much easier walk than Augusta, and maybe he can find some magic. I mean, he found a little bit of magic the first 2 days. I feel like he just, like you said, ran out of gas a little bit. But
his driver hasn't been an issue. If he keeps that straight,
he piped the one. He put the video out.
I think one of his biggest issues, and maybe it's different here, maybe he's worked on a little bit more. Even though he said that the whole time he was hurt, he was working on a short game, I just don't think his putting was anywhere near where it needed to be.
It was terrible. So, his wedges were not that good either, which is kind of shocking.
No, and that was the thing he said he worked on. That's the thing he couldn't do, was hit driver, and he was freaking piping it everywhere and just couldn't do anything after that. So if he keeps the driver like it is, where he's not taking that just lash at it like he used to and keeping it controlled and down the middle of the fairway, it's funny because I said years ago when he couldn't find a fairway, of course, his philosophy is kind of like Phil's. It was like, well, if I hit it down there 310 yards, I'd rather have a wedge out of the rough than I would have
punch it out. Yeah, hack it out. Yeah.
But I've said for years,
awesome.
If he would quit lashing at the ball and just find fairways with his short game back in the past, just think about how great his game was, how much better it could have been.
Oh yeah.
If he wasn't such awful off the tee.
This course looks absolutely phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah.
It's absolutely gorgeous. It has one of the things that this is funny to me. I put a big value on if your grass grows down into the water on like creeks and stuff like that. If the grass is like mowed down into it and it's not like a sandy creek bank, it's like beautifully manicured grass down into the water. I think that makes you a really nice course. And there's like winding brooks and things like that run through this course. It just looks.
You just like those hover mowers they use. Don't have the wheels on them. That's what you like.
Those are sick. Question: How many takes? How many takes do you think those videos take when Tiger does that? Do you think it's the first one, or he's peculiar about it? Like it's got to be perfect. Like how many takes do you think? It's easy with the iron shots because you just look at the divots. You know what I mean? So but a driver's a little bit different. What do you think?
That's a good point. I never thought of that. He's such a perfectionist. It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, with the driver, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, if he got up there and snap hooked it, that's not going on video.
Yeah.
I mean, that may be the only ball he hits on that hole, but that may have been the 4th or 5th tee shot they filmed, and he was like, use that one.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, he may not have taken multiple takes from that tee, but the other tee balls that he hit may have not been worth a damn. So he may have been like, that one was piped, use that one.
Or what if he just said, what if they video each swing and he's like, okay, that was the one. That's the one.
Yeah.
That was the electric one. That was the one full of electricity. We're going to use that one.
He pulled at me. Even though I can't hit it as far as y'all, there's been times where I catch it and I turn around and look at you and I'll be like, I got a hold of that one.
That's bombed. That is piped.
That's bombed. It's still far behind y'all, but it's still bombed in my world.
That's Evan bombed right there. Ben loves that when he hits a good one. It's going to be a quick recoil, pick up the tee. That's bombed. And then
and it's 240
on a string though, with about 20-25 yards of roll.
Yes.
Because it has no spin on it whatsoever. It's just straight ball. It's unbelievable. So Tiger Woods definitely playing in the PGA Championship. I'm excited. I mean, it's not that far out. And we get to see
I'm pumped because we just booked our weekend for that weekend. We will be in front of the television Thursday, Friday. As we said, we're picking him to make the cut. So we're sitting there all day Saturday and Sunday. And with Tiger back, they'll have extended coverage.
Oh yeah, 100%. Good friend of our mutual friend of mine and Ben's. You don't even know this, Ben. His cousin made it through on the pro qualifying thing to get in. Mm-hmm. So we'll have a mutual friend who has a cousin that's going to be playing it. So we'll have like a little flavor there that we can root for. But yeah, so that's kind of cool. It's only, I guess, like 3 or 4 weeks away. We got 2 good tournaments in between, minus the one that's going on right now in Mexico. You got the Wells Fargo and the Byron Nelson.
Who did Mexico pay off to get this to come down there?
I don't know what usually goes here. I don't feel like this has always been here. What usually goes here? I wonder. We need to go look at like the 1990s and whatever was in this.
Well, didn't they just move this one? Because isn't this the one that like JT won the one time because he holed out on 18 to
it might have been. It might have been.
They've just moved it. Like it used to be at the first of the year.
See, I think you're right. I think that's the one that used to be at Doral. Mm-hmm. There used to be one at Doral, and then there's some people got butt hurt, so they moved it to Mexico. Mm-hmm. And I think you're right. I think this may have been just kind of jimmied in there somewhere.
Yeah.
After they go to do the Florida swing, it was because Doral used to be part of the Florida swing, and then
look, it was phenomenal the one year that because Abraham Answer is of Mexican descent, even though his parents immigrated when he was like young, so he basically is an American because he grew up in Texas, but they still consider him the hometown kid in Mexico, and he was in contention like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Yeah, like he was like right there, and the crowds were unbelievable. So, not that I'm pulling for Abraham Answer, but if he's in this tournament, it will make for much better viewing pleasure this weekend if one of the hometown Mexican guys is like there in contention at the end.
Sure. So, All right, so we got after the PGA, you got four weeks until the U.S. Open. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 weeks. He's in. In between that, in the middle of that, you have the Memorial. That's the one I'm very curious to see.
How is the walking in that?
I feel like that one, from what I remember, I don't think it's. I think it's probably pretty similar to the one, the Southern Hills. I don't think there's a whole lot of crazy elevation unless it's from like tee box to fairway and then back up to green and stuff like that. I don't think it's nuts. It's in Ohio. So, but yeah.
You reckon Jack twists his arm a little bit and says, "Hey, how about
depending on how he's feeling, I think he may play. I think he may play in the Memorial as well. I think that'll be one he plays in. And then after that, you got the U.S. Open. And then
he said he wanted to. He just never was quoted as saying that he would.
Yeah, you got the U.S. Open, and then you have a long break, so he could before the Open, so he could do that. I think he could play those three. That's 3 tournaments in 6 weeks. 3 tournaments in 6, basically every other week.
Not to mention the Open will be the easiest walk he's had out of all of them.
Sure. And then you got about 5 weeks until the 4 to 5 weeks until the Open over in St. Andrews. So yeah, I think that's pretty fair to look forward to over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, it's fun. Putting a video out there that goes just absolutely haywire, and there's memes and there's accounts that have snatched it and posted it and talking about it, and it's just
there's already been some players, that said, well, damn, Pip's taken again. There's the video. It just takes one. That's all it takes. Just one video.
It's amazing how it works. Shifting gears, Ben, we didn't really talk about this beforehand, but I think it's worth talking about. So Phil has essentially signed up for all of the Saudi tour events, if I'm correct. So very curious to see how that all plays out. So Phil is he's asked for permission to play in definitely the opener. And then it came out that he's going to play in all, every single tournament. So
he and Robert Garrigus,
which is just, they talked about landing the big names, and that's
the 2 big names right now, Garrigus and Mickelson.
Hate that. Yeah, that is going to be that is blockbuster right there.
Well, that's the thing is, if you're somebody like a Phil that's greedy, or any other top player that may be greedy, and you start seeing the names that come out, and they're saying that you're basically guaranteed that if you finish top 3 at the end of this season, you're going to be guaranteed $30 million. It's like, okay, well, there's nobody playing in it, so I'm going to go over and kick everybody's ass and walk away with $30 million. How about that?
Exactly. So that'll be talked about. That'll be dissected 1,000 different ways before now and then. But Phil is in.
He's a traitor.
He is in. I don't have near as big of a problem with it as most. The only problem I have is I just feel like if he wouldn't have been so such adversarial with the PGA Tour, if it would have just been more of hey, I just really want to go, I'm 51, like I just want to go make $30 million.
He handled it poorly. And I listened to an interview with Pat Perez, and he discussed it, and he had some really harsh things to say about Phil. But the best part I liked about it is he said just what you said. He said, look, he should have just come out and said, I want to go make a shit ton of money.
I've blown all my money gambling, and I need to go. I need to go get some stacks.
I've made some bad investments, clearly, because I got busted for that.
Yeah.
Also gambling with other people's money now. And so I need to go tap into that 30 mil that they're offering. And
if rubber band banks, let's go.
If I come up short, I win 15 mil. So that's not a bad second place finish.
Do you think they give them like those steel briefcases? Like they plop, and it sounds like it weighs 1,000 pounds. And it hits the counter, boom, and they pop the locks, and it pops up, and it's just chock full of cash. You know that's how they pay him, or they Venmo him. Can you Venmo $30 million?
Hey, listen, I will say that was pretty pimp when he won the match, and they had the stacks of cash out on the table. Tight. That was pretty solid. That was I mean, I know that they were doing that for show and for TV too, but still, that was if I'm in a tournament and I walk by the scores table and I see that when I'm teeing off on Sunday, I'm like, oh, damn it.
It's like
yes.
do you remember when the World Series of Poker got big? Like when it exploded,
and they stick the stacks in the middle of the table.
So when you get to the championship and it's the last two guys, it's the $1 million prize or whatever. It's like it's incredibly high now, but like the big prize, all the cash is out in the middle of the table.
Along with remember you get the bracelet too.
The bracelet, it's
sitting right there in the case for you. Yeah, that's stronger than new rope right there. I kind of like that. So I really wish they would do that. They're like, here's 20 million, and they just open up these garage doors, and it's like, that's yours, bub. Go.
You know how like when the women they had that major and they're mad because they can't go jump in that little pond anymore. Like, what if like after the last match, if you win, you just go jump in a big pool of cash, like it's just a big old pool of bills, and you just jump right. That would be awesome. You got to do something like catchy or crazy.
Oh, because they've already said that they're possibly losing money. Like I did see that report, like, because Greg Norman's kind of overpromised and not really delivered yet. So they're saying but they said they're still not going back on their prize money claim. They're going to keep that. So they got to do something that's going to turn these other players on for next year. Like, so it's going to have to be something way over the top.
Yes,
some supermodel come driving in a Ferrari with cash flowing out the back of it. I mean, that's
butt naked. I'm kidding.
It's going to be great.
Maybe not. All right. Speaking of awesome, guys, Primo Golf Apparel, got to check them out. Use coupon code DADPOD 15, take 15% off your order. You've seen us in the joggers. They got the blade collar polos. They got what are those belts called? Like
woven belts.
Woven belts, like a lot of different color options, towels. They got everything. Primo Golf Apparel. Those guys are great. They sent us a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to be looking good on the course throughout. They're even like the pants are not even like uncomfortable when it gets warm. Like the material's so light. They're just awesome. So go support those guys. They've been good to us. Primo Golf Apparel. Real quick, I want to touch on this, and then we got to get to the most important story of the year. But this one's really, really funny.
Of Kyle's here.
Yeah, this one's really, really funny. So, everybody knows Kevin Na. Like everybody knows Kevin Na. He's a little bit of a slow player, but he does the antics on the putting, and he's been known to get the yips and can't pull the trigger. He's had the 15 on a par 4. I mean,
fabulous.
He's just always something's always going on with it. Well, this happened back in January. He was playing in some tournament, making everything, and he was doing the walk-in stuff. And some guy I've never even heard of, who's apparently it's barely a professional golfer, Grayson Murray. He quote tweeted Chantel McCabe when she said, Kevin Na walking in putts never gets old. And Grayson Murray quote tweets and says, he's not even a blue check. He says, Kevin Na taking 3 minutes to putt them does get old. So a few hours later, Kevin Na, basically, you just wouldn't even think he would have any aggression at all. Claps back, Ben. And what does he say?
Oh, this is the best comeback ever.
Yeah.
Tells Grayson Murray, says, you missing the cut is getting old.
Oh, boom. You missing the cut. And for reference, Kevin Na was up to date on his Grayson Murray statistics.
Yes.
So far this year, it's been a dry run for old Grayson.
It's been a dry few years, literally and figuratively.
Well, he had a booming T65 at Pebble Beach this year, and then he's missed the next 3 cuts. So Honda Classic, Puerto Rico Open, and the Punta Cana Championship.
Oh wow!
Last year was not a whole lot better. He did have a T3 at the Puerto Rico Open. But his last 10 tournaments, he missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Last 9 tournaments, missed 7 cuts and 2 WDs. So
here's part of what I have an issue with. Okay, first off, he comes back after that too, and he says, if they penalized you like they should for slow play, you'd never make another cut either. Okay, that's whatever.
Boo.
That's
Lame.
weak. That's such a lame, Mr. No Blue Check. Just forget it. You got owned right there by Kevin Na. The
Yeah.
problem I have is when he got interviewed, he kept throwing out the fact, well, I was in rehab, like trying to get everybody to feel sorry. And I'm like, nope, stop making excuses. Like, don't do that. You went after the dude. He clapped back at you. Don't
Kevin
be
Na
pissed.
is not a bully. Okay,
No.
you're there. No matter how hard you try to make, you cannot make Kevin Na a bully. Like, I'm
There's
sorry,
chance.
you become even that much more of a loser if you're trying to paint Kevin Na as the bully.
If Kevin Na is the bully of the PGA Tour over Brooks,
yeah, exactly, exactly. Like, give me a break.
Like that, forget it.
So, and then this is the best part of the story. So apparently, like a couple of weeks later, it's a tournament somewhere, and they're on the driving range. And Grayson says he starts hearing somebody yapping at him, cussing at him, and he looks over there. It's Kevin Na
Kevin Na chirping his ass,
just filling it up, just absolutely ripping him. He said I was hitting the ball on the range. I had my head down I walked to the chipping green, and sure enough, I hear someone yelling and cussing at me. Can you imagine getting cussed out by Kevin Na?
I would laugh. I'm doing what you're doing right now. I would be laughing. I'd be like, I can't believe I'm getting cussed out by Kevin Na right now.
I won't repeat every word he said, but basically there was a lot of profanity involved and calling me a not so nice word about how I should have said it to his face in person. You know what he called him? He called him a pussy. That's what he said. He called him the P word. There's no doubt about that. I know what that means. He didn't like that I didn't tag him on that post, which I'm pretty sure I did.
Oh yeah, when he tweeted, he tried to explain how Twitter works. Yeah.
Oh man, Grayson, this is such a bad.
It's look, like bro. It's like first off, he was being so hypocritical too. By the way, he goes. So he confronts me on the range where he knows the PGA Tour is not going to let anything happen. So he does it out in front of everybody. It's like
you confront him on Twitter.
Yeah, you went after him over a keyboard. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
like
Kevin Na at least had. Hey, Kevin Na had
balls to walk up there.
He had some junk to just let you have it. Yeah, let's go. I mean, I got Kevin Na's side.
You're twice the size of Kevin Na, and Kevin Na starts chirping at your ass as soon as you get on the range. I never thought
I'd see the day that I'm jumping behind Kevin Na and ready to go to battle. But I am
all more respect for him. All more.
I watched a little bit of his first round today, and he made there was a par 4. There's a par 4 they're playing, and it was like 487. But it was into like a 20-mile-an-hour wind. It was playing like 530 yards.
Oh my!
And he hit 3-wood. I don't know why he hit 3-wood off the tee. He thought he could get it to the water. I guess I don't know. He didn't even get it to the fairway. He's the first. I've never seen a pro not get one to the fairway. He didn't get it to the fairway. He hit 3-wood again and he had about 100 out, and he got up and down for par. Wow! And he hit an 18-footer. Just walked it in all today.
That is what he should have looked at the camera. And give the camera the bird and said, "How about that, Grayson? That. How about
Grayson,
that?"
I just went 5-wood on 5-wood wedge and parred this hole. I'm gonna make the cut, and you're not. Kevin Na, he's my new hero. That's awesome.
Did you like watching that at home, Grayson? How about that? Get you some of that, bub.
Exactly. Who's the bully now?
You didn't even qualify for the Mexican Open that we're playing in. Shut up and sit down.
Nobody even wanted to come to this thing, and you still couldn't get in. I love it. Speaking of heroes, we got to go ahead. We put some stuff out on social media, but we have to talk about it. Started this podcast and, mostly just for fun. And, it's become sort of it's become another love, I guess. We have a great time, and we made some good friends. And I started the joke, someone please invite me to play Shoal Creek. Ben's played Shoal Creek, which Shoal Creek, if you're not from here, it's essentially the Augusta of Alabama. Only course, I believe, in Alabama where they have caddies. Super private. You just Jack Nicklaus design. You hear about all the mystique of and tradition and stuff like that. And I was like, somebody please invite me to play Shoal Creek. That was my thing. I think since we started, that somebody. Well, I finally got the invite, and Ben set it up. Ben hooked it up, and big shout out to The guy that took us, I'm not sure if I can say his name. I'm not sure if I can say his name, but
We'll say Bobby. That's all right. We'll just say Bobby.
we'll say Bob.
Some of the locals will know. Yeah.
Yeah. Old Bobby took us first class, absolutely first class. I thought I was going to cry. I held it together. And we just had you just walk the whole grounds with a smile on your face. It was every single thing that I could have ever imagined. And we had a blast. We had a blast. Ben, we had three caddies for four of us. So one, they rotated huffing with two bags. Turns out one of the caddies was, went to school with some of my family. So there's a connection there. The other two caddies were brothers from South America, and their dad was a caddy there too. And he was in the group behind us, which that was a really cool dynamic.
By the way, shout out to those guys. Diego and Sebastian were ours, and then
Landon.
But their dad behind us, his name is Walter. I've had Walter. Yes. I've had him a couple of times. Pros out there that are listening to this, you're missing out. Walter's a hell of a caddy. I'm going to tell you. I mean, he's in his 50s, possibly early 60s. I don't know. He's got three sons. And Diego is actually a Chilean golfer. He was just up here to grab some cash during the off season, and he's headed back home to work on. He's working to get clubs, as bad as it sounds. Yeah. He's playing with like 7-year-old clubs, so he's up here huffing bags so he can take some cash back and get himself some clubs to try to get back on tour. So it's been. Best part about it is going, and everybody I've played with has been there before, but they didn't understand my excitement. I understood Kyle's excitement because I hear him talk about it every day. Yeah. So I just kind of sat back and like took Kyle's perspective, like watching him. Yeah. It was great. He hits a bomb off the first tee, by the way. So he's the nerves don't show. He pipes it right down the middle. He's by far the longest out of all of us that are down there. As we come off the first tee, Kyle goes, "It just hit me."
Yeah,
I'm having a moment. It just hit me.
Yeah.
And I was like, "You got to get it together. We got to hit a second shot. Come on."
Yeah, there's a whole lot more golf left. Like the way the driving range is set up there, right by the first tee, and then you're walking down, and there's these beautiful cottages, and just this. You look to the left, and then you can see you're in a valley with this giant mountain or foothill, whatever you want to call it. It's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I think I may have hit the driver the best I've ever hit it in my whole entire life.
No doubt.
And I don't know if it was the course or I just figured something out, but it just, for whatever reason, it brought the best out of me off the tee box. But the greens got me. The greens are tough. I thought
either one of us could score. We couldn't.
Yeah, we couldn't get up and down.
Even though we were the only two that had birdies out of the group, we still couldn't score.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. We Ben had a pretty birdie on a par 5. I had several good birdie looks, and then we finally got to 18, and I was like, I'm not leaving this place without a birdie. And 18 is not an easy finishing hole. Hit the fairway, hit it to about, 10, 12 feet, drained it. Mm-hmm. Great memory to leave on. It was first class. It was first class all the way. Sepp Straka was in the group behind us. Mm-hmm. He was when we got lunch, he was in there, and
Kyle wouldn't let me ask him why he tried to jar it on 18 at the RBC
Heritage. I was
like,
let's just let that one lie. He didn't win. He didn't win like a few weeks prior. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff you're around out there.
It'd been great to go back home and you have to call my wife. Yeah, Ben got in a fight with Sepp Straka because he was chirping him in the clubhouse.
Sepp Straka's he's an absolute massive human too.
He seemed like he was like 7 feet tall when we got in there.
He's so big. He's so much bigger in person than he seemed on TV. I mean, he looks big on TV, but God Almighty, in person, he's a big boy. We almost died. I almost died.
Yes,
on a hole. I almost died at one point in time. We were on, I believe it was the 15 green. The 16 tee box is a par 3, and it sort of goes up behind the 15 green. And I'm bending down reading my putt, and I hear 4, and then right by me. It was a cold laser shank.
See, I knew it was close because I didn't hear 4. I heard look out. Like I heard that. I didn't even hear 4. So I knew it was coming directly at us because they freaked out. Like they thought they were going to hit us.
It was so fast that I never saw it. It was so fast and coming in so hot that I never saw it. And all I heard was it skip. I was kind of bent down looking, looking at pretending like I knew what the hell I was looking at when I was trying to read a green. And then I'd be like, all right, just tell me which way it goes to the caddy. That's one thing. I really like to be coached. I don't know if anybody knows. When you play with me, if you coach me, I want to be coached. I want you to be like, tell me the yardage you want me to hit and the club you want me to hit. And we finally got that relationship down towards the end, and I started playing a little bit better. But yeah, so I'm bending down, looking at the putt, waiting for the caddy to tell me which way to hit it, and I hear, and it like laser by, skips off the turf, but I know it skips underneath me essentially, like it goes underneath my knees. If it would have hit me in the side of the knee, it probably would have broke a bone. Like it was absolutely hauling.
Oh, it was a scud missile. It was the
like
dude
sometimes
called
Shank,
it dead solid shank.
Sometimes he hit dead center hosel, like dead center hosel, like not like sometimes you can kind of have like a toppy shank or a spinny shank. This was a laser rocket, dead right, and it almost killed me or my caddy. I think he kind of jumped out of the way though, and it would have just taken me out. He that was one thing.
Both of y'all froze. Both of you, the fight or flight, both of y'all froze. Like y'all didn't know what, and it was. I happened to look up when they said it, and it landed between me and Kyle. And then Kyle says, "How close was that?" And I said, "A whole lot closer than you wanted it to be. Let me just tell you that." And
it was what, a foot,
if
maybe?
that. I'm telling you, if you would have been down marking your ball, I'd have been scared it would have hit you in the head. Like, luckily you were not marking your ball. Like, that's how close it was. And
that's
so,
scary.
And then the guy didn't have the balls to come
to play
and hit
it.
his own ball.
He didn't play it. He went and dropped up by. I'm just going to drop up there.
I'm going to drop up there by the bunker. And I'm like, oh, he just gave himself literally 150 yards relief.
Yeah.
Forward.
Yep.
And I'm like,
man, now
they better not have been gambling, because if I'm one of his playing partners, I'm like, hell no, you're going to hit that. You're taking the walk of shame down there, and you're going to apologize to those guys on the green, and you're going to hit that ball.
Yeah, exactly. No, and I don't even know that they went and picked up the ball. I think they just
he sent the caddy.
He sent the caddy to go get it.
His caddy.
That's even better. That's even better.
His caddy comes walking by, and I'm like staring at the caddy because all I wanted was sorry guys, something.
Yeah.
Nope. Caddy head down, went straight to the ball, picked it up, and walked over there.
Hey,
never looked up.
Shanks happen. But when they do, you got to go play it. And our boy Bobby, he had a bad one on that same par 3. It kind of went up high in a tree, but you know what he did? He played it out. He played the whole
with
out.
Those guys on the green.
He played it out. He was not. He just, he's working in some new irons. So we had to get those things dialed in. Absolute blast. Finished with a birdie on 18. Ben's birdie was a beautiful par 5, and he laid up perfectly to about 80 yards, and then you give Ben a wedge, and crazy shit will happen. So
my wedge game was on point.
Yeah, he threw it in there tight, made the putt. It was just fun. It was fun all around. I can't even describe anybody. If you ever get a chance to go, you got to go. It's just. It's so cool. Like you go in the locker room, and not locker room, but you go in like the where the 19th hole is, back to the men's locker room. There's this long hallway, and there's all this Jack Nicklaus memorabilia. You see the first 3 rounds that are ever played, and it was who? It was Jack Nicklaus, Ben Crenshaw, and who else?
Jerry Pate.
Yeah. So you had their scorecards. And I want to say, was it Ben Crenshaw? I can't remember the 3. I know it was Jerry
Player.
Pate.
It was Player, wasn't it?
What? I don't know.
I think it was Jerry and Gary. Yeah, I think it was Player. I think it was Nicklaus and Player.
Somebody shot 68 the very first time they went out there, and I know Jack shot 70 in the first round. So,
now granted, they were playing with Persimmon, but those tees that we played from have been put in since that was created. So we were moved back a little bit. So the course played a little bit shorter back then, but you got to consider they were also playing with Balata balls and Persimmon woods. Kyle was phenomenal off the tee. Even the one fairway he missed where he put it in the bunker, I thought he'd cleared the bunker. I thought he'd cut the hole short, and he literally was a foot short from being probably absolutely perfect. And so he hit it like he should have. He just got a bad break. as he said, with my wedges, I had a couple of flops up there that actually impressed the Chilean pro golfer. He was like, that's unbelievable. Probably my favorite was on 4, where I was way above the hole, but the hole
the flop shot
that just happened to sit in a flat area. I was like, well, I can't hit it on the hill because I'm going to be down there at the bottom if it catches the downslope. So I got to land it in the flat area.
Ben pimped to at least 2. He hit 2 flop shots that were tour quality flop shots, pimped them too. Both times he did it. And, they were extremely impressive, extremely impressive. And yeah, so the wedge game was definitely working for Ben. I couldn't get up and down. Those greens were tough. And then if you miss, like there was one hole, I think it was 4. I hit it to like 10 feet, but it didn't get up on the back tier and it rolled all the way down.
Oh yeah, that's tough.
And then I had like a chip uphill to it, and then over the hill, the pin's going, and then it's going downhill away from the pin. And I it's definitely a tour quality, a tour quality course. And
yeah, you get on the wrong side of the green and you just take your 3-putt and go to the next hole. Like it's not something that you can't be. That course will bring into play when you don't put yourself in the right position. When you hear pros say, I'm just trying to get it up there within gimme range, like I'm not trying to make it.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of amateurs are like, so what does it do? What does it break? Like one hole I was behind trees and the caddy goes, you want me to shoot it? And I was like, are you kidding me?
I'm
like,
just going to try to smack one around there and get it close.
Like, no, I'm not one of these members out here. I'm not going to act like I have that shot. I'm trying to get it up there to get that wedge back in my hand. That's what I wanted.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Like, I feel like we got the hardest pins that they had.
They've been, that was the few times I've played it. I played it where they were tough like that before, where they were cut in corners. I've played it when they've been very accessible. Like on 2, I told you, when it's down there at the front, it's a super accessible pin because it's flat down there and they got that bank to protect it. So
everything was like a back tier or like on
one was actually fairly easy. That's like the
one
easiest.
Was in the middle. One was right in the middle.
Yeah. That's the easiest. 3 was tough on that back right. The only time it's easy on 3 is when it's down there in the bottom on 3. 4 was not in a good spot. It was in that little plateau. If it's on the bottom left, it's always good. 5 was atrocious. The green is so tiny on 5 right there on the left side, and it's protected by water. Where on the right, it's a further shot, but the green's huge and it's all flat back there.
Yep.
7.
I mean, we could walk through. We could literally walk the hall. There was so many that were tight, and then there were some that were in the middle of the green, but they were on like plateaus that if you were left or right of it, it was almost impossible to 2-putt.
The par 3 that Kyle hit 13. Kyle hits a great shot on a par 3. The green is absolutely enormous, but they got it tucked in the front left. And if you go long on top of the hill, you're not going to be able to stop it within 5 feet.
No.
Just forget it. You're at this point. This came down to where I told Kyle before we went and played, I said, your goal is to not putt it off one single green today.
I didn't.
And when he had that putt on 13,
like, this is gonna be the one.
I was like, this is it. This is
the video. That was the video. Yeah, I hit a good shot. I was like, dang, that might be a 1, and it flew right over the pin, but it was deep. It had a little bit of wind helping, and I was up on that back tier, and I'll give my caddy credit. There was a few times there where I was almost gonna just say, I got this, but
just ignore him.
He told me something on that putt, and I was like, there's just no way. There's literally, like, I'm looking at the physics of this. There's no way this could work. So I did my own thing, and I had 12 feet past the hole, and he's like, now come back and do it again. So I came back and I put it where he said, and it was like 5 feet. Like, it would have been I couldn't have made it no matter what I did, but it was, if I would have put it his way, I had a much easier putt. So,
well, my birdie putt, Diego stepped in.
Yeah.
Because he was carrying my bag at the time. And I said, left edge. And he goes, no, right edge. Yeah. And I go, are you serious? Like, I mean, I plumbed it. I got behind it. I just watched John's ahead of me go. And he's like, it's right edge. And I was like, you know what? If I miss it, it's on him. And so I putted it, and it right edge, it went dead center. He had the call. So I never saw that.
Yep. There was only a couple where I feel like, maybe I want to say, I just want to say miscommunication because there was a little bit of a language barrier.
I will say, which is funny because Diego and Sebastian are brothers, but Diego to me was a much better green reader.
He had some great one-liners too. There was a par 5. This is a couple of one-liners. All right. So there's a par 5 is 17 and Ben hits a drive out there and Ben's like 350 out or something like that. I mean, it was something a long way.
It was like, I think the caddy shot it and I think it was like 340.
He goes, Ben says, what do I got in? And he goes 3 7-irons. He got 3 7-irons in, which was great.
Because he called my bluff because I was trying to joke with him and he was like, I was like, I said, how far is it? He said 340. I said, oh, what do you think I should hit? I said, what do you think I should hit here? He goes, 3 7-irons.
3 7-irons.
And here's the best one where I'd missed a couple of putts and I get to the next hole and he pulls out my 60-degree wedge that I was hitting. So he says, you should just hit this all the time.
Just putt with this. And then another one that was great. We're waiting. Their group in front of us was, I mean, there's no way to say it. They were bad. They were bad and they were slow. So the group in front of us, Diego goes, that guy, or one of those guys played in the Masters. I was like, really? Which one? He goes, none of them. Like he suckered me in. I was like, no way.
His personality was fantastic, man.
Yeah, it was good. It was a great experience. So this starts. So that's the number 1 course in Alabama, at least in the Golf Digest this year. Like that and Birmingham West, they fluctuate. So now we're going to start the quest for the top 10 in Alabama. Yeah. We're going to play the top 10 in Alabama. I don't know how long it's going to take, but the quest is out there. We know we can play at least 3 or 4 of them are public. So we'll play those this year. We got RTJ, the Judge, RTJ, the Links here in Opelika. We can go play Kiva Dunes and then Farm Links where I have that free round. Thanks, Scotty Scheffler. So that's 4. So that'd be 5 of them right there. So we just need a little bit of help. We need a little bit of help. So if you're out there,
we got to make some phone calls.
We need some friendship from, hey, Birmingham West, Vestavia, Old Overton, Turtle Point, Ledges. Hey, Ledges, our boy Blaine Barber's playing at the Ledges right now. Anybody that likes Blaine Barber that wants to be friends with us too from the Ledges, like, hey, we'll come hack it around and have a good time with you.
And some of the best golf is the no monies golf. We love those.
Yeah, no monies. Yeah. What was that?
You told the lady, you told John, he said, oh, they got no monies beers in there.
Yeah, no monies. Yeah, she said those beers are no monies. That's the ones I want. Yeah. So hey, and I'll tell you what, I'll pay if it's one of those clubs where like I can't pay you immediately, you got to put on your card. I pay back really fast.
Yes,
I'll pay back immediately. You give me the bill, I'm gonna pay you back right away. Yep. I'm probably going to buy a putter head cover. I'm probably going to buy, a shirt or a ball mark or something like that. But hey, let's have some friendship out there. Let's take down the top 10. I got to work on a shadow box right now. I'm working on a shadow box for Shoal Creek. I'm probably going to put it like right here or something like that with my scorecard, my fresh 85 with a birdie on 18.
Oh gosh.
We
could have scored. Kyle and I both were like 4 or 5 swings from mid 70s. And
let me tell you what it could have been. It could have easily been an 82. It could have, if I would have got those 2 reads right, and didn't hit in the water those 3 times, it could have easily been an 82. It was a little windy the first,
It was, but you and I have zero excuse for hitting that many fairways.
Oh no, I hit 12 fairways.
I may have missed
85.
I may have hit 12 fairways. I hit 12 fairways. And one of the fairways I didn't hit, I had a perfect lie with it because it was on 4 and they took all the damn trees. So couldn't complain. That was just as good as hitting a fairway.
Yeah. 4 is where the tornadoes came through. It's just 4, 5, and 6 are absolutely, there is nothing there. Hard par 3, but there's nothing there.
You play 4. If you go right in the woods, your caddy should fire you because there is nothing left after the tornado except green grass down the left side and the rough. And the rough, that's how beautiful this place is, y'all. The rough's grass is just as nice as some of your local munis. Let me just tell you that right now.
Oh, yeah. Ball
It's
sits up.
literally,
Ball. It's like the ball just sits up in it too. It's
yeah,
crazy.
I probably had a better lie over there in the left rough than Kyle had in the fairway, just because my ball was sitting up on a tee, so I was able to hit my hybrid in. So I'm telling you, it's phenomenal. And,
we had a blast. We missed Nate. Nate is out again. He said this was going to be his last miss. Got to give him some credit. He just closed on his first house, so he is moving all week, getting all that done, and there's nothing more miserable than moving. And then asking.
He did give us a phenomenal voicemail.
Oh,
on the way up.
The most unbelievable pep talk that you could ever have. It had me ready to run through a wall. He did tell us that he hates us both, but that's why he loves us. Or something like that.
He said, he said, I hate you both, but that's what's beautiful about friendship.
Yeah, exactly. So going to be fired up to have him back on Monday. Mm-hmm. We really appreciate you guys. This has been so much fun. It's fun to hear people, start asking about, hey, how was Shoal Creek? How was Shoal Creek? From seeing the social media posts and just the engagement stuff we've been getting has been awesome. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and you may catch a little post show hobnobbing. That's something big. We used to do that on the front end. Now we're going to do it on the back end. So only way you're going to hear that is you subscribe to YouTube. So really, really appreciate it. Episode 172 of the Dadbod Golf Pod. Have a great weekend, and we'll be back on Monday. Dadbod Golf Pod.
Always broken. Beautiful.
Phenomenal. I'm that guy. I wore my Shoal Creek shirt that I bought.
Oh, I would too. Listen,
it's the best looking one, by the way.
It's funny.
Everybody said it.
It's funny before we came on, and you said that. And you'd said, well, if I go back up there, I won't spend as much money because I won't buy another shirt. And I'm like, oh no, they get you. Like there'll be a whole new stock of shirts.
Oh, I know. Hey, this what's this thing called? Jason Bourne. But Jason Bourne.
Said, what was you told them in the back seat? You said, what is it, like holster something or something? And
Holderness.
Holderness and Bourne.
And Jason Bourne.
And you said, they said, what's the brand on it? And you said Holderness and Jason Bourne. And I immediately said, it does not say Jason Bourne, because I knew they would have both bought into it.
Yeah. I'm pretty fired up about my my putter head cover too, that I'm going to put on I'm going to start playing with that blade a little bit more.
That was
I want to make it work. I want to make it work. I should have used it there, but I thought I putted phenomenally for me. I never had a 3-putt. Now I putted technically, I never had a 3-putt. I putted some off the fringe that but that doesn't count. That's a 2-putt. That's not a putt. That's basically a chip. So, but golly, it was fun. So I'm
really, the bad part is I told you on the way home, that's still not as fast as they are.
I can't even fathom.
That's why I was leaving everything short. That's why I was leaving everything short. I will say on one, your chip shot on one or your bunker shot on one would have made it to the hole on a regular day.
See, from the putting green, I thought the shot I hit would have gotten down there.
The putting green was probably more realistic of what the greens are. The greens were not
like when they're at top notch.
Yeah, because I told John when we got on about the third hole, I said the putting green was rolling a lot faster than this. That's why I'm leaving everything short. And so the putting green is probably more. That's probably more realistic is what their greens are like, especially in the summer. So
what do you think they were rolling? I mean, they had to be. I still think they had to be rolling at least a 10 or 11 when we played. Like,
they were probably a 10. They're probably regularly a 12.
Which is, I can't even fathom, like the putt that we're talking about, the 2-tiered par 3. Like if that's a 12, if that's running a 12, like I'm down the fairway, like I'm back off the green.
Yes, down. I will say they do a better job of pin placements when they're rolling really fast, because they don't want people to just. I mean, those members pay way too much money. They're not gonna piss them off where they're putting balls off the green constantly. So when they're at their fastest, just about everything is center cut. So it's as bad as it sounds. It's easier to score when they're at their fastest because none are on the corners. The corners are left alone. Everything's basically dead center. It's either right center, left center, or dead center. There's no, like on that first par 5 and that back right that it was. I've never seen it there. Seen it there.
And I got in a death spot on that. Yeah,
It's
but
never there. And same thing when it's fast on the next hole on 4, just in that little plateau area. It's never there. It's never down front ever. So it's either on the left where it's just huge and there's plenty of space to land. Same thing with 5, that big area right. I've never seen it on 5 on that left. When I saw that left pin on 5 over the water, I was like, this is stupid.
that
Like
was
you
that's
gotta,
a golf shot.
yeah.
Bobby hit it to like
Yes.
15 feet. He
Yeah.
hit it 1,000 feet in the air. It was in the air for 15 seconds.
Look, I told him when we were walking the tee box, I said, I give you 100 balls. You don't do that again. There's no chance.
And it stopped right where he hit it to. And
Yeah.
the green, that's another thing. They were firm. It was, I don't know. I'm going to say this. I being on grounds at Augusta, that's the closest greens I've ever seen to being somewhat similar to something like Augusta in my mind. The way they can put pins on, like for example, number 9, you can't see it unless you look at the greens book, but in the back middle of the green, there is a triangle. It's like a pyramid, like a triangle. And on all sides of it, it rolls off 10, 15 feet. And they put it on the tip of that triangle. And I somehow 2-putted from one.
I don't know how you did it.
I don't know how I did that.
One, I thought you were closer. Number 2, when I got up there and saw where your ball was and where the pin was, I was like, he's totally screwed.
There's no way. I'm looking at it like there's no way I can.
Not to mention, I just chipped and my wedge game was on point and I hit it right where I wanted to. I maybe missed my spot by about a foot and a half.
And it rolled past 12, 15 feet.
Oh, easy 15 feet. And like after it hit, I was like, well, I still may get away with it. Oh no, I didn't get away with it. I mean, it's 15 feet gone. It went past it. Well, no, it didn't go past John's because he still was out because he went first. And then our 2 putts did something totally different. His putt went left and mine went right. And we were literally a foot from one another because of that triangle you're talking about. Like I was on the wrong side of the triangle.
Nate would have been very disappointed because I passed I passed on the turn dog. Nate raves about their hot dogs.
The turn dog was phenomenal because it's big old beef hot dog. It's about the size of your wrist.
But I did get a white claw.
You did.
I got a turn claw.
Yeah, you got a turn claw. Their halfway house is phenomenal. They got everything you could have ever imagined in there.
Oh, everything, man. It's so first class. It's just everything I dreamed of. Appreciate you making that happen. Thanks, Bob.
Man.
Thank you, Bob, for making that go down. Had a blast.
He's already talking about doing it again, so we'll have to find a time.
Yep, we're gonna have to sell a few more ad spots to make it happen next time. But hey, yeah. So if you're out there listening, hey, Vestavia, you're on the list. We'd love to come see you. Friendship, Old Overton, we'd love to come see you. Friendship, Ledges, Turtle Point. I may have a Turtle Point connection. We may have Turtle Point. So I'll let you know on that one. And then there was that it? That was the 4. That was the 4 private ones. Oh, Birmingham West. That could be another mountain to climb. That one could be tricky because they say that.
What's Birmingham West? Is that Greystone or what?
No, Birmingham Country Club. Birmingham Country Club, the West Course. So that's a Donald Ross. That is a Donald.
I don't know if I got any connections there on that one.
We'll figure it out. Just hit us in the DMs if you
yes.
If you
Hey, listen, not that y'all need it, but we will. We'll buy some gear while we're there. We'll talk about you. We'll give you some love on the pod. We will literally break down every round that we have at these courses. Like I promise you,
we'll fire up people like to want to go on the same quest. Like want to go on this quest. And then it'll be a blast. Hey, speaking of quests, I don't know why I said that. It's not related at all, but Blaine Barber, first round, the Ledges. I think he was one of the last players in the field because fires 6 birdies in his last 17 holes. Bogey number 1, and had 6 birdies, 5 under, sitting there T7.
Did you see his shoes?
Oh, those camo FootJoys! Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I want to wear. If he wore something and then got done with it and said, "You can have this." After he got done with it, I would wear everything he wears. I think
I have said before, you could definitely pull his clothes off, but the shoes. He's got to hook me up with some more shoes.
he He's
His
got,
shoe game is
there's none that's better than
what I
that.
want mine to aspire to be. And you've seen my shoe game,
And you
and
have a good one.
and I still want mine to be as good as his.
Those Jordans, by the way,
Yes.
sexy. Did you see they dropped a new color version today? I'm close to going to buy them.
What color are they? Because all they had was the black and those the whites with blue
So
trim.
so it's like white with like a gray and then reddish. There's some red in it too.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look them up. See what they call it. But yeah, they just came out today.
My wife would be so upset with me.
You should buy all three of them. Those
I don't
things
like. I won't wear the black ones.
they look good, man. Yeah, the ones you had looked really good. There, you got a ton of there's a ton of people that asked me about them. They thought people sent it to you. I was like, I should have just said yeah, they did. But so it's they're that red and gray, and on the back they have that little camo thing they do, or like the zebra looking thing on the back, kind of with the black Jumpman on it. In the bottom, the cleats
just
on
released. I got that's the way it was. Those that bluish color, those cleats, they turn clear. That's the way my original Jordans were.
Those are sick.
Yeah, they start off looking like that, and then they kind of lose their color. I don't know what that. I hope they fix that flaw. So they got some complaints online about that because they were kind of hoping that blue color would stay, and it ends up kind of fading out and turning kind of a yellowish rubbery color.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I want those because
That's a good looking golf shoe right there, man.
That's a modified version of the original that I got.
Yep. Hey, follow if you're still listening. Go follow. I think it's Swoosh Golf on Instagram.
Yes.
We're gonna get him on soon. He has a really cool story. So, like, apparently Nike had several guys that they hired to be like their influencer team. And I think they had some, and this was like this dude's dream. Like we talked about it. It's like you get all kind of Nike gear. All you do is essentially just come up with awesome content to post about all the Nike golf gear that they release. And I think they had some like some cutbacks or something on influencers, but he was like, this was like my dream job. And they kind of took it away from him, but he wants to come on and tell the story. So that'll be 21,000 followers. And I like everything he posts, just makes me drool. It's like everything was great. Like I want one of these Nike bucket hats, that floral Nike bucket hat. I probably can't pull it off because my head's so big, but they have all the stuff that the Tony Finau. Did you see that flat bill he had on today?
Yes.
Nike flat bill. I want everything he has too. Nike is really stepping up their golf game.
Their golf shoes. Let me just go ahead and tell you, I'm a FootJoy fan, and I love the shoes that Blaine has hooked me up with, as well as some other FootJoy. I got the My Joys. That was my thing for a while. My wife would buy me My Joys for Christmas because they were so darn expensive, and she'd let me design them. But if you want style and comfort, and they're not even paying us to do this, I'm gonna tell you right now, the Nike golf shoe is phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Like you are literally wearing tennis shoes out there on the golf course.
I have 4 of the the 90s, the 90 G's, and they're absolutely phenomenal. I wore a pair to Shoal Creek.
These new Nike Air Zoom Infinities, goodness gracious alive.
I want all of them.
I could run a mile in those. That's awesome. As the Tour of Victories, that's the Rory shoes. And he comes out with special editions that you can get as well, and those things are phenomenal. So the only complaints that I have, the ones that I don't like, is like the Air Max. I'm looking at the 270G. It's got a high tongue and it's got a high back. I'm not a big fan of that. I like the low. Yeah, I like the low underneath the ankle. So that would be my only. If you had to say which one do you not like, that would be the only one.
Yeah, but I want these mint green, these mint green Zoom Nike Zoom. I'm sorry, Nike Air Zoom Infinity Tour Next. I want the mint green ones. Those are sick. But anyway, I want everything I got. Definitely, I'm definitely probably for sure getting these Jordans. So I'll let you know whenever those come in. So they still got my size. They go fast. But anyway, appreciate it, Ben. Thanks again for helping get the Shoal Creek thing down. And hopefully we can go climb the mountain of these several other courses.
Now
We
we
got to
just
go
gotta-
we got to do the public ones this summer. Like,
Yeah, we'll go and do
Yeah.
the public ones, and then we can post some content. Hopefully, we can get some friendship out of the others.
absolutely. Absolutely. Anyway, take it easy. See you Sunday. And we'll talk Monday. How about that?
You got it, bub. We'll do.
All right. Bye.
See ya.